Hello, and welcome to a Yarn Story podcast. My name is Carmen, and I am the owner here at A Yarn Story. And today I am joined by Helen, our newest team member. We're very excited to introduce her to you today. Are you excited to be here?
I'm very excited.
We've been wanting to have Helen on for a while now. This is kind of the first opportunity where our schedules have properly aligned. We are going to talk about what we're wearing, what we're knitting, and we will talk about the game of wool.
We will.
Again.
Yes.
Much like we did in episode 1. Because now we're on episode 4.
4 was last night.
Yeah. We're going to get to that at the end, though. Let's talk about the things we love first.
Absolutely.
Spoiler alert, we don't love Game of Wool. All right, let's start with introduce yourselves to everybody, or yourself to all of them.
So my name's Helen. I live in Bristol and have recently started a yarn story in April. So I've been here, 8 months?
Yeah, about 8 months, yeah.
Yeah, I really love Bath and I really wanted to be able to be in Bath. And then I saw this job come up on Instagram and was like, I feel like I need to be a part of that. I want to go be there. I want to be part of that team. So yeah, I applied and was really chuffed when I got the role.
Yeah.
And it's just been the most glorious 8 months of working with wool, helping customers, and I've loved it. It's really good.
We love having you here, so yay, long may it continue. You're not from Bristol originally, though, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm from Cheshire, which is kind of northwest of England, sort of outside of Manchester. So yeah, I feel like I still have a real kind of strong northern accent until I go home and everyone's like, why are you talking so differently?
I was about to say, probably the northerners listening to this will be like, she's lost her accent.
She definitely has, yeah.
The Americans will be like, wow, that's such a strong British accent.
Yeah, definitely. I've been in the southwest of England for 15 years. I came here to go to university, met a boy, got married, and stayed. So yeah, this is home now for me.
Tell everybody what you studied at university, because I think it's fun and very unique.
Yeah, so I have got a degree in, it started off in children's illustration. I did a year there, and then I transferred into the animation department. And yeah, it was really cool. I specialised in kind of puppet making for stop motion animation. So I would build wireframes and then build little costumes and things, which I loved. I haven't done as much of it over the last few years.
I mean, it's really very, very cool, but very niche. Very
niche and difficult to do kind of on your own. It tends to be something you need a studio and space for. So I know it'll always be part of my journey and maybe I'll come back to it in some way.
Yeah.
And I feel like I used a lot of textiles and so it's been a natural progression for me to kind of work towards using materials in a new way that is something that I can do on the fly. Which is kind of why I love knitting, because it's so, I can grab 10 minutes on the bus or whatever.
That is the really nice thing about knitting is compared to a lot of the other crafts, because it's portable.
Yeah.
Right, and you can't just do a few minutes of it, like sewing, not so much.
Yeah.
You sew a lot as well.
I do, yes, I do. I like to sew. I've got a couple of machines. I'm always trying to make new clothes for myself. I feel like having the chance to make things and make those decisions for yourself, whether that's the colour of the fabric or the shape or making adjustments to fit my body, and that's why I love both knitting and sewing in that way. It's that it allows me to have full control of the finished item.
Did you make your dress?
I didn't make my dress.
Oh, I thought you'd made that one.
No.
I wouldn't have asked. I thought that was one of the ones you made. Oh, my bad. Helen is always wearing dresses she's made, so I thought my chances were high. Who got you knitting?
Well, my mum taught me to knit when I was about 7, and she bought me this little kit, and it was like knit a little square and you'd put little googly eyes on and little feathers and things to make little creatures, and that just was it. Once I'd started, I used to make like finger puppets, and I wouldn't be following patterns, I'd just be making little squares or whatever and sewing them, and that was quite a went on for quite a long period of time, so maybe 4 or 5 years. My mum would take me to the local market and I'd be able to pick out a couple of balls of wool and make a few things with them. And then it kind of went away for a while. And then in my early 20s, when I had finished my degree and was looking for ways to be creative around kind of a full-time job at that time that wasn't so creative, I picked it back up, and then it was more kind of I wanted to make garments, and that's been the consistent thing for me really since then. So about 12 years now of kind of consistently knitting, but it's become more and more part of my everyday and more kind of all-consuming. It's all I think about
part of your
now.
identity, really.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
And I think, so those of you watching us will very quickly be able to see what kind of knitting Helen is into by what she's wearing. So tell us a little bit about what you're wearing.
So this is the Caper Vest by Francesca Hughes. I got the yarn and the pattern when I went to the John Arbor Mill a couple of years ago for their open day, which was really lovely. I used the colour palette from the design, so I can't take credit, but it's definitely the kind of colours that I wear. If you see any of the things I make, they're generally green or pink.
She has a whole pile next to her that she'll show you in a minute. Yeah. And
it's all pink. I just love it.
Yes, so lots of greens, pinks.
Yes.
I love the cobalt blue that runs through it, though. It really kind of makes it pop.
It does, yeah. I do tend to kind of make those traditional pieces. I really love colour work, whether that's Fair Isle or stranded colour work, things that kind of have a bit of a vintage feel, a bit of a vintage twang to them. One of my kind of longer term goals is I'd love to make a few original vintage patterns and get them to work for the modern day.
Yeah.
That tends to be the things that, I go towards most of the time.
Have you ever been, gone to the Bath Fashion Museum archives?
No. I think it's been closed for a while.
It has, but they do private viewings of the knitwear and knitting pattern archives when they're kind of back up and going.
That sounds like something I would definitely enjoy.
Like your eyes just lit up.
Yeah. Ooh, just down the street as well.
Yes. I'm excited for that to open back up. I think Susan mentioned it's going to be 2030.
Oh.
And I was like, I think they're going to have some stuff before that. Someone mentioned to me recently that they were doing private viewings of the archives again somewhere. But yeah, I don't know what's taking that so long on that project.
Yeah. That does seem like a really long time. But kind of in a similar vein, I don't know if you've seen the new V&A.
No.
So there's a new V&A building where you can request 5 items from the archive and you go down there and you view them. So
that's cool.
I think there is a lot of textiles, a lot of, I'd imagine, knitwear, but I've seen people talking about smocked things, and it's something that I would love to do. So maybe I can go there whilst we wait for the Bath one to open.
Definitely. I have not gone to the V&A enough.
No.
It's not something I've really explored in detail.
Maybe we need a staff outing.
I mean, that would be a good staff outing. Amanda just went to the Cartier exhibit.
I did see.
Did you?
Well, I heard her talking about it. I haven't heard what she thought yet.
Sparkly.
Yeah, nice.
I think is mostly what I got out of it. I'm sure she has more things to say than it was sparkly, but yeah. Okay, well, I'll tell you guys what I'm wearing, and then we'll dig into the pile of knitwear you have to show us.
Yes.
So I am wearing the Brett wrap, I think is its official term, by Rastus Sue. I'm not pronouncing his last name correctly. He did tell us. So Rastus was in the shop last week.
He was.
He came by. He's here on vacation with his husband.
Yeah.
Because his husband's from Wales. And he came by the shop. We had a little afternoon with him.
We did.
So, yes, it is the Brett wrap, and it is his first origami knitting design that he did in Opus.
So nice.
And I don't think I'd realized this, or at least I'd forgotten, but he was mentioning that we were like the first yarn brand to sponsor, to give him yarn support. And I was like, oh.
I heard him say that, and I did think how sweet to, for him, you've helped him kind of make his way in that capacity.
Yeah. He said us and Brooklyn Tweed were the first 2 companies. Yeah. So that's cool, because he's done 4 designs in Opus and 1 in Origin. And he's done 3 like origami patterns for us, or well, with our yarn, I guess. And they're all beautiful, like Opus lends itself really well.
Does, yeah.
I'm wearing Spellbound, which is our blue, very bluey, slightly purple color depending on the light. It's very cozy. This usually lives in the shop, so I don't get to wear it very much.
No.
But it's really nice.
It's your colour as well.
It is my color.
It looks so good on you.
So that's what I'm wearing. Let's talk about the pile of knitwear next to you.
Yeah, so what I thought I'd do is bring in the things that I have made with our shop yarn.
So this is basically only things you've made in the last 8 months.
Only things I've made in the last 8 months.
It's going to beat me, that's for sure.
And this is just the things with shop yarn. There are a few other things that are not shop yarn, but we'll go in with these. So the first one I made was for our midsummer cow.
Oh yeah.
So this is the shorty. Get it the right way around. Which is a really lovely kind of very simple lace weight.
Get it a little closer to the camera.
Yeah.
And who is that? Anne Wenzel, the shorty?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is Anne Wenzel shorty. It is.
So pretty.
I used the yarn that she suggested in the pattern.
Which is?
So it's Trio 2 held with Alpaca 1.
Such a nice fabric.
It's lovely.
Like, it has some weight to it.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It is really nice. It's really nice to wear. It's one of those that I feel like it's cool, but there's enough warmth to it that it's quite an all-rounder piece. You can wear it all time of year and you're not going to feel too cold or too warm.
That's kind of what I feel like the weight of it, because a lot of summer tops are like so like flimsy kind of.
Flimsy can be, yeah.
And this just feels like, I could wear this pretty much all year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really nice. I like to wear it with like a scarf around my neck and with a nice skirt. So yeah, it's quite feminine, romantic, which is kind of
That's your vibe.
my aesthetic. And then,
Until we talk about her music tastes.
that is where I then become slightly different. Yeah. So straight after that one, I thought, I just need something else pink because, why not? And I really wanted to start using our in-store yarns because they are so nice. So this was in fact, you gave me some of the yarn for this one as a gift, so to get me going, which was so kind of you and lovely. And this is the Cloud Jumper, which I made with our Yarn Story fluff in the colour English Rose. And
Is it just one strand? No.
It is one strand, but it's held with one strand of spinny.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which gives it a little bit more structure.
Yeah.
It keeps it super soft, but it does mean that it just kind of keeps that boxy shape.
Yeah, you've got just a bit more structure in it. Just a nice combo. Now I have to make something in that combo. I've not seen you wear this one yet.
No, I'm still kind of trying to make it work with the right skirt. I'm in the process of making one, and it's about getting those, like, the waistline and getting everything to balance in the way that I want to. So yeah, sometimes for me, I find when I finish a knitwear piece, I have to ruminate on it for a little while of how I want to get it to work in my wardrobe. So like if you see me in this vest, I'm always wearing this dress because I just feel like I've gotten it to work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This is why being a jeans and t-shirt girl makes my life really easy.
Yes.
I'm like, that goes with the jeans.
Yeah.
That goes with jeans. And this goes with jeans.
Maybe I need to invest in a pair of jeans again.
Yeah, but I'm also very, I love that you are always wearing really pretty dresses and skirts, and it gives you more color and variety. I'm pretty much always denim from the waist down.
Yeah.
Right? That's not very interesting.
No, but it's very you, and we all have to lean towards what is our taste and what feels right for us and comfortable.
Yeah, but part of that is just because that's the only thing that fits me and has ever fit me.
Oh.
Dresses. I mean, I'm not really a dress person. To be fair, I never was. But anytime I've been like, oh, I could buy a cute dress, they're just not long enough.
I've seen you look killer in that green one that you wore over the summer. Was it for an event?
Oh, yeah, for Kaylee's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good dress.
Yeah, you did really. You looked amazing in that.
Yeah. I don't have any knitwear to go with it, though.
No, well, okay, that's fair enough. We'll have to find you something.
I love this one.
So this was for our Caitlin Hunter cowl that we just finished. So this is the Nordic Bloom. So this is going to look slightly unfinished because
it only has one button on it.
It only has one button on it. But this one I made using Cumbria, the fibre company, Cumbria, in the worsted weight. in the shades Kaluna and Buttermere. So
Such a pretty, I would have never put those two colors
Would you
together either. And you picked that out like immediately.
I did.
And we put a kit together. And I think that was like everybody's favorite.
a couple of people used that colour, which made me really happy. It's always nice when people like your colour palettes. But this one, so the original button placements on this doesn't quite work with my dresses. So I've decided that I'm going to take the button band back and just move them around slightly.
Yep.
That's the beauty of making things for yourself, isn't it? Is that we can try things out. I've let it sit for a couple of weeks to decide before sometimes I can be a little bit spontaneous and be like, it's wrong, and pull it all out. And, you know, sometimes you just got to stop and think and be like, it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
Think it through. Yeah, that's one of my kind of jobs over the next couple of weeks is to just change that a little bit.
It's very pretty.
But yeah, I love it. I'm really pleased with the colour work because I just think that really pops.
You are very good at the color work.
It's my thing. Speaking of colour work.
Oh yeah, these are beautiful.
These are my mittens. These are the Alma mittens.
We'll get a little closer to the camera.
Yeah.
These are so stunning. Didn't you like bust these out in like a weekend as well?
I made one of them in a single day. I had sore hands at the end of it, but
I bet you did.
It's the dopamine of like just one more round and a flower appears and then a little bit more of a flower and then you move on again and it's so exciting. And they are so warm. I've been wearing them on my dog walks the last couple of weeks because it's got cold here.
What's the yarn you used? It
is Garthenors Guillard.
Nice.
I think that's the right pronunciation.
So what needle size did you use? Because that's a worsted weight yarn.
It is.
Those are dense.
I'm pretty sure it was a 3.5.
Oh my.
Yeah.
3.5 color work with a worsted weight. Those
they
warm.
are so dense, but I love them and I want more colours.
The corrugated rib finger, like thumb.
Yes. Looks really good.
Don't know that I actually have the skill for that. I get a bit fiddly on the tiny circumference with color work.
I definitely left the thumb and sat down quietly and did it when I was really concentrating.
Yeah.
Especially where you've got this colour change.
Oh,
where, you know, you've got to make sure you're lining it up right.
For those at home.
That's one of my hairs.
That's fine. That little color change there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm focused, but...
Just a case of, getting that all lined up right, but it's so effective.
It is so effective. These are like perfect mitts.
They are so nice. So
Wanna make me a pair? I'm kidding.
I probably could. You're not the only person out of our team that's asked me.
Kaylee
also said, could you make me? I was like, you knit too. I'll send you the pattern. I'll tell you which designer it was. And then the last thing that I've made is a fairly simple thing, but I used cashmere, knitting for olive cashmere, held double, and it is so luxurious. So this is the Sophie scarf, which I'm sure people are familiar with seeing.
I was talking to my cousin in Germany last night.
Yeah.
And she's a knitter, but she's not like in the know. She doesn't like follow on Instagram or Ravelry or anything.
Sure.
And she called last night and she's like, oh, I'm knitting. I'm making something by Petite Knit. And I was like, uh-huh. And she goes, it's just a really simple scarf. I was like, the Sophie scarf. And she goes, yeah, how'd you know? I was like,
how could you possibly know running a knitting shop?
Well, because I was like, because a few million people have made that one.
That is true. I wonder if this is the most made pattern of all time.
I mean, it's got to be up there,
It's got to be up there.
She actually, and then it turned out she's making the new hood one, not just the that one.
Well, I may have just bought the yarn to make the hood. I gotta have one in Snefnug.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be cute.
Yeah, I've gone for the colour Bordeaux. It's like a really rich red. It's gonna be gorgeous.
That is gonna be gorgeous.
It's gonna be my holiday project over the Christmas period.
Oh, well, that's a nice small project you might finish.
Exactly.
It's not like my holiday project I just decided on.
Would that be by any chance the new beautiful Venzel jumper?
It might be.
Yeah.
The Jilly Jam.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes. Susan and I both got very inspired by the mixing of 3 yarn colors to make a marl.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna actually use orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with like lavender and blue.
Are you go? Is that the orange, the soft, the Isaga soft?
Yes. So I'm going to use the Isagar soft and the orange, the lavender, and then I'm using. She had suggested using a lavender from something else as the mohair, but I think I'm going to use the blue, the light blue mohair from Isagar. I think it's number 44 that has like a purpley undertone.
Yeah.
It's just like one more layer of.
That's going to be gorgeous.
There was that, and then I also picked out like a brighter, kind of wilder snuff nug version, which I'm also tempted by, which is the jelly bean, the bright green.
Oh.
With the light sort of bluey color that's over there.
Yes.
And then the cobalt blue mohair.
Oh.
I was also tempted by that.
Oh, that sounds really good.
But I feel like I've done quite a lot in green lately.
Yeah, so you're feeling like a bit of a shift?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Susan came into the shop to tell me about that the other day. Not specifically just to tell me about that, but she popped in and she was like, have you seen the new Anne Bensel jumper? And I was like, no, she showed me. And then we started looking at colours and I was like, Susan, you need to leave because you keep making me add new things to my list.
I know. That is why it's trouble when we get together, right? Because like someone has seen a pattern and then we start playing with yarn and then game over on our plans.
Game over. Can I do 5 more garments in 5 weeks? Who knows? I'm going to try.
I mean, you're more likely to do it than I am. But let's go on to things we're making.
Things we're making.
I did finish a hat. I finished my Oslo hat, but I've already gifted it to its recipient.
Yes.
I don't know if he's picked it up yet, but it's at Wolfwine, waiting for Sam.
I saw the picture. It looked really cute.
Yeah, I did. I was like, if this doesn't fit you, just give it back because it fits me.
It fit
I'll
you
make
really
you another
good.
one.
What colour did you use for that one?
Hippie heart.
Hippie heart,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was our lovely origin.
Yes, I will probably make myself one as well. I love the Oslo hat pattern. It really works with like any yarn. That was probably the 4th or 5th one I've made.
Yeah.
It's dead easy. It's a petite knits pattern as well. And she's changed it up. So you used to basically knit like a tube and then you'd sew the brim up.
Okay.
And fold it. And now you sew this tube and then you do like you bind it together. And then you knit the rest of it. And it makes it a bit stretchier. Because I looked at my other Oslo hat that I had done years ago.
Yeah.
And where I had sewn it, like, is a little bit pinchy. Like, it doesn't stretch quite the same. So putting the cast on end with, like, a live row, sort of stitching that together, definitely makes for a stretchier, more comfortable hat.
And I imagine a really beautifully clean finish as well.
So, like, this hat looks like it is off the shelves.
Oh,
like, it is lovely. And I didn't have to block it or anything.
Oh, even better.
So I am thinking I need a new hat for myself as well.
Yeah. I have to say you did. I saw the picture and I thought, I think I could do with one of those in Beaver's Den.
Yeah.
Our rich brown colour.
Yeah.
Which I'm making something else that would make a nice pairing.
Well, and we walk dogs.
We do. We get cold.
It's the ears when it gets windy.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
Yeah.
And we need different hats for different days.
Yeah.
Otherwise people will think we just wear the same hat all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I finished that. And then for our current Christmas sprint cowl, I have some mittens on the go as well.
Oh, these are so cute.
Yeah. So these are the Robinia mitts by Anne Bensel. And see, I'm doing green on green. I'm doing Origin in Ponderosa, which is like classic green, and then Dune Grass, which is the limey green. And this is actually the first time I'm doing a thumb like this.
Yeah, I've never done one like that.
No, and so I actually could have done this on the train the other day when I thought I didn't have the accoutrements.
Right, okay.
But I'd never done a thumb like this. So I've knitted in a piece of scrap yarn.
Yeah.
And then I will go back and like open that up.
Yeah.
I guess it's like an afterthought
Yeah.
thumb.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I should have finished this last night, but then I was watching Game of Wool.
Okay, so you were distracted.
I couldn't knit while
Being cross?
Yeah. So, but I do have the cuff of the second one, so I won't have second mitt syndrome.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what do you have on the needles?
So I have two things. The first thing I'm going to show you is for my project for the cow.
Yes. This
Which
is
I know
so
you've
pretty.
seen. So this
I love your
is
color combo.
the quilt block scarf by Tamara Jordan. And I'm doing it in Origin. So this is when I said I could do with a beaver's den hat because I'm using it as the main colour.
That would look really cute with that. Yep.
So this is Origin in Lighthouse, Pacific, Dune grass and fireweed.
Fireweed.
So yeah, I'm really loving it. It's really
Gonna be so warm.
like a methodical. I've learned the pattern, so
Nice.
I'm not having to look at the chart just because it is a very
love
simple
that.
15 stitch repeat, and obviously you're doing it one way and then you go back and do it the other way.
Yeah.
Because it's
a symmetrical star.
exactly.
And are you weaving in ends as you go, or are you like it's a tube? I don't really have to.
I have weaved as I go.
That's so Helen.
I know, I'm insufferable, aren't I? I got a couple to do.
Does this become a tube?
So yeah, I'm going to, essentially, yeah, it is a tube. You knit it in the round, all the way round, and then you just sew up the ends once you've finished.
Oh, okay, so it's a scarf.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a scarf, not a cowl. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's gonna be so nice and warm.
So my plan is to do 6 repeats of the 4 colours. So I'm halfway through.
Okay.
And as it was a 4-week colour, I was like, I could do kind of 1 or 2 per week and it should be finished in nice time.
Yeah.
So that's that
Someone
one.
around here is a planner. Go figure.
I like a spreadsheet. And then the other one is a simple raglan.
This is so gorgeous.
This is the Rota Sweater by Anna Hushvad, a Swedish designer. So this is
What is this?
the Royal Wool Company,
Oh.
here, the 4-ply
Yeah.
in the colour Shepherd Silver, which we used to have.
Yeah.
And
We're
I'm-
sold out of all of the Royal Wool Company at the moment.
It's very popular with people visiting
Yeah.
Bath. And I'm holding that with a strand of Issachar silk mohair in the colour number 2, which I think is so lovely. And it always makes me think of like a little bunny's ear.
It is like a little bunny's ear.
So
This is super pretty.
soft.
Love this.
So I'm really enjoying it. My gauge is ever so slightly out, tiny bit. It was a sport weight project, and I'm holding a 4-ply with a mohair.
That should be fine.
I'm okay with it. I'm just having to be a little bit mindful about my tension as I'm knitting through. I have a bit of a tendency when I get into the stocking round and round and round to get a little bit loosey-goosey. So I'm just
okay.
being a little bit more mindful and keeping my eye on the tension.
Oh yeah, we learned that in your.
We did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we could do a whole episode on that.
We could do a whole episode on that, yeah. And how I cried.
No need to cry over the knitting.
Just an emotional person.
I could maybe show off what I'm gonna wind,
Yes.
possibly. Oh, actually, I brought you a little something. I just realized.
That's nice.
So these are 2 skeins from the from Prado, from the vest that I made myself because I was gonna make something else, but I have no idea what I'm gonna make, and I think that you might make something nice with them.
Thank you.
They're
so-
DK.
If anybody that doesn't know Amanda's yarns,
They're very nice.
I just love her, yeah, I just love them.
So that is from probably 3 shears ago.
Beautiful. I can't
And it was
wait.
so nice to work with, but I know that now I've made one thing. Like I'm not gonna make another vest with it,
Yeah.
and so I might as well. I know you'll enjoy making something with
I'm
it.
definitely going to
It
enjoy
doesn't need to
doing
just sit in my stash. I think I've shown this off before because I got it at Rhinebeck. So yeah, I'm gonna wind this. This is also from Prado, the Criollo in Alejandra, single ply DK weight in like the beautiful cobalt blue. So that's gonna become the Ponderosa hat.
Ooh.
I forget the designer. Kaylee made one a couple years ago,
Okay.
also in this yarn, and I was like, it's cables. So I'm gonna make that. And then I have literally no idea what this is gonna be, but I really loved this color. And I'm just gonna wind it into a ball so that it gets used.
Oh, wow. That is something else.
This is Odang from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers in It's Green, which I think is accurate.
Yeah. I mean, it's in your face, isn't it?
It is green.
I love that.
And then this is my farm yarn from Prado this year.
The one that you were part of the sharing.
Yeah, so basically I made this yarn.
I love that.
I'm gonna swatch that. So I'm gonna wind up one skein to swatch for, I think I'm gonna make the Petite Knit Monday sweater.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
just like a raglan
Simple.
DK.
Yeah.
I just want something I can throw on with jeans.
Yes, absolutely. Nice neutral colour.
Yeah.
Pair it up with other accessories.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
And then this is from Les Garçons. I picked this up
Nice.
to make Joy. It's to make the cabin something hat by Max the Knitter.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of samples there and a bunch of kits. And I was like, that one suits me and I need a new hat. So basically I'm going to be on a hat kick
Yeah.
now, which
time of
does
year for
happen
it.
this
Yeah.
time of year. Those are my things. What else do you have there in your hand?
So this is the last thing that I have to show today, but this is the current pattern that is ripping through the staff team here at A Yarn Story.
It is.
And I have swatched for it. So this is going to be the Rosie Sweater by Knit.
We're just going to show off how neat this swatch is.
I did do it double-sided.
It's, you will never see me swatch that neatly. You've sewn it together.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to put it on my blocking board and it looked pretty in my office. So, yeah. Too much time on my hands.
Have you cast that on yet? Or
No. So I'm saving, so that one and my Sophie hood, I'm going to, when I'm kind of mid-December, when I finish these couple of things,
Yeah.
the cowl finishes, they're going to be the things that I do over Christmas and into the new year because I've got a holiday just after Christmas.
Yes.
Going to Cornwall for a week, so they're going to keep me busy. But yeah, that is Marilyn and Alpaca one. So, sorry.
That's super nice.
It's Issachar Marilyn held with a strand of Issachar Alpaca one in
That's
both.
such a nice combo.
It is. I feel like it's going to be light,
It is going to be light.
but warm still. I
Yeah.
think sometimes I run a little warm, especially when you're in the shop.
Well, yeah, because you're up
Yeah,
and down the stairs all the
exactly.
time, and like, yeah.
So it's nice to have something that I can throw on, but is not going to get me too hot.
Yes.
So that is, and Susan is making one, and also Amanda came in last week and was like, I'm going to make this this Rosie sweater. I don't know if you've seen it. I was like, oh, Amanda, I'm making it too, and so is Susan. And she was like, oh, can never get to the patterns before you guys.
That's because she's always making up her own.
It's because she's incredibly clever. I mean, she came in with the most beautiful vest the other day, the Intarsia. Check.
The Argyle?
Oh my goodness.
Amanda has made a vest for herself, buttoned Argyle, and she's used Origin and Spin Cycle Dream State, and it looks amazing. And we're like,
good.
where's the pattern? Please and thank you.
Give me the pattern. I want to make it.
She has said sometime in the new year.
Lovely. That'll be perfect as we all
It's so nice.
finish our current wicks.
Yes, Lil and Tarja.
Yeah.
Good way to use up your Dream State scraps.
Yeah, and any oddments you've got.
yeah.
It's always nice. I would like to brush up my Intarsia skills. That would be
Yeah.
a really good chance to do that. And maybe I might be like, Amanda, can you just give me your tips?
She will
Your
definitely.
tips and tricks.
She will definitely do that. We've done a lot of Intarsia this year because of the Erconite collection.
Sure.
And I was going to make Date Night, which is the Intarsia sweater.
Yeah.
And then I was injured, so I outsourced the knitting of the Intarsia sweater.
Sure.
And yeah, I would also like to brush up my Intarsia skills.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I just find that it's getting those the stitches where they change colour, getting them to sit
Yeah.
nicely.
Amanda does have a trick for that.
She did tell me, I think it's knitting through the back of the stitch, but
Yeah.
don't quote me on that.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
We will.
So now we've told the world about this sweater or this vest. So Amanda better do it now. This is some public pressure. Let's all get her to write it down.
Yeah. Sorry, Amanda.
Okay, well that is what we're knitting. I should have my mittens done maybe next weekend. You'll definitely have that done by the end of the cowl.
Yeah. Hoping to finish the jumper by the end of this month. I mean, I cast it on
I have faith in you.
a week and a half ago, so I think I'll be
Yeah,
okay.
you'll be fine. I still have my salmon sweater, and I still have the baby blanket.
You're not far away with that, though.
No, but you know what? Like, it's one of those that's knit on the diagonal, and I'm at the decreases, but you know how sometimes you just get a project and it's like, why is this not closing?
Yeah.
Why is it not growing?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Because when I started it, I was like, I'm going to be done with this in 2 weeks. It was just flying.
Yeah.
And now it's just, it feels like the end is really far away.
Yeah.
It will be done for Christmas. The baby knows it's getting it for Christmas.
I mean, the baby will be pleased to be warm, I'm sure.
I mean, the baby has like 7 hand knit blankets already.
I was going to say, isn't Mum also a prolific knitter?
Yes, so all of the knitter friends and everybody. So I'm still, the baby's still got the blanket, but
Of course.
felt less pressure.
Less pressure, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to do the salmon, and then I want to do the Jilly Jam
Yeah.
over Christmas. It's on 8mm needles.
That's going to go so quick.
Yeah.
That's
So I
gonna
also
fly.
need, well, I think the hats will keep me otherwise occupied.
It's nice sometimes to have that quick knit, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something that moves fast.
Hats are very much my thing. I love knitting a hat.
Yeah.
It's definitely the thing I gift the most, that I have like the most of for myself.
It's not hard to get the size wrong with a hat.
Also true.
Socks can be a little bit more
Socks
tricky.
can be a little tricky. I do want to find a like worsted weight sock pattern for myself
Ooh,
for like some dog walking welly.
some great big
socks.
chunky, snuggly socks.
Yeah, they don't have to be knee highs, but just because I got some cute ankle booty wellies so that I didn't have muddy shoes when I walk beaches, and now it's a little cold.
Yeah, so you need to keep your...
I need some thicker socks. So, The Game of Wool
Yes.
is a television show on Channel 4 here in the UK.
It
At
is.
the moment. We just had episode 4. We talked about episode 1 in the last podcast episode. We didn't like it very much. You actually stopped watching it after episode 1.
I did. I don't like to pour my energy into things that are negative. I didn't really enjoy it, and I thought, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I'm just not their audience.
That's okay.
I think that the contestants are all great, and Elsa, she's my girl. She's a bit of a vintage knitter.
Yes, she is.
And from that reason, I was like, love her. But I don't necessarily think that the production side of it has been terribly successful.
No.
In my opinion.
No. I continue to be angry about it perpetuating the classic knitting tropes that, everybody thinks we only do weird, wacky, granny, old-fashioned, not stylish items.
Yes.
And that is making me very mad in general.
It's a shame because I think that there is so much that you can do with knitting. You talked earlier about making a hat that you feel was, just as good as you could buy in any shop and is so nicely made. Things don't have to feel rustic or...
They don't have to... So I like to talk a lot about the difference between like handmade and homemade.
Yes.
And I think homemade kind of has that scrappy vibe, you know? It can be a little bit like skew whiff.
Yes,
but you love it because
you love it.
grandma made it or you made it or whatever.
Absolutely.
Or one of the kids made you a macaroni necklace,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like homemade
has value,
things.
but it's different.
Yes. Handmade, I think, just is like slightly more refined.
Yeah.
And that's why I love blocking, because it takes a lot of stuff from homemade to handmade.
Yes,
right?
very true.
They don't get to block a thing on that show.
They don't.
Really annoying.
And the time that they get doesn't allow for refinement.
No.
And
It doesn't even allow for end weaving in. So those
Yeah.
tapestries they did last night, like the backside of them.
They didn't. They had not had time. And it definitely felt like the teams were, or one team in particular of the two, felt very under pressure to get finished. And that just doesn't align with my personal practice.
Yeah.
That's not how I make or why I make. And I think that they're all so talented. You can see that from the things that they're wearing in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Holger's jumper last night was
yes.
perfection.
Yes.
That's definitely the sort of thing that I would want to add to my
Yeah.
future making list.
And Elsa. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Elsa, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Scottish. Yeah. She had a beautiful pink cable
She
vest
did.
on.
And Lydia has had great knitwear game.
Gorgeous.
The whole
Yeah.
time. I do love that Simon's always in a hoodie.
I do.
He's a builder and he's just like, I knit, but like I'm wearing a hoodie.
I love that because, so for anybody that wouldn't know, in my past life, I used to work on building sites. I used to be, and it is not something that I would expect to see a builder doing, but that is a chance to break down those stereotypes of what kind of people knit. You don't have to be a kind of anything. You can be anybody.
Can be absolutely anybody.
And he obviously enjoys it, but I did see him say that he's at a point in his journey where he's not had time to make things for himself. He's done lots of gifting.
Right.
So maybe that's why he's always in a hoodie, but it's true to him, I suppose.
Yeah, but
it's his personality.
I think it's quite cute.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is, their knitwear game is like on point,
On
right?
it, yeah.
And he's always in just a zip-up hoodie. Yeah. But this is back to like the segue of you've never knit a sock.
No.
But I know you can knit a sock.
Yeah, I just haven't done it.
You just haven't done it, right? And like last night in particular, with that crochet costume challenge.
Yes.
So this is also supposed to be Britain's best knitter, and they have to crochet all the time, which is not the same as knitting.
It really isn't.
They are two different crafts. I've also said before, I know so few people who are really good at both of them or who are interested in both of them.
Yeah.
Most people tend to gravitate towards one or the other for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a terrible crocheter. I don't really get it.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah. So I am probably like an intermediate crocheter.
Okay.
But it's not what I gravitate towards the most. And I think that's to do with finish and the kind of garments that I want to make. Knitting allows me to get to that finished item the way I want it to look, more so than crochet. They are not the same. They're not the same in
They are
any
not
way.
the same, and I really applaud all the contestants for, giving it a go and probably spending a bunch of their free time between episodes trying to like upskill on something very quickly, which isn't something you can upskill very quickly.
No.
Right? And, the reverse of that too, they clearly, Dipti, who went last night, she was a crocheter more than a knitter.
Yeah.
And that was obvious in the reverse, right?
Yeah.
But when the judge said, well, Simon has clearly used up all of his crochet skills.
Yeah.
And I was like, and your point is?
Yeah, he has, because it's not his predominant skill.
Yeah, and like, why is that a criticism?
Yeah.
Why did that come across? I mean, I don't know how it was edited, right? But like,
Sure.
the way it was edited, it sounded very much like a super negative.
Yeah. The expectation is that you should be proficient in both, and
Yes.
it needs to be balanced. You need to be balanced the same in both.
Yeah, and to a skill level that I don't actually know anyone who that has it. I mean, Amanda has been a knitwear designer for 30 years or more actually. And she still learns things.
Absolutely.
She's always like, "Ooh, I've learned this new stitch or a new cast on or something."
Yeah.
So this is a craft and a hobby where you never stop learning.
Yeah.
So to sort of put out there in the world,
I am finished.
That-
I know it all.
That is ever the case, that there is an end.
Yeah, it's never
Just
going to be
isn't
the case.
the case. So yeah, I mean, I'm continuing to watch it, and I keep hoping that one of these weeks.
Yeah, I felt like it has started to feel a little bit more cohesive.
Yes,
in the
as a
production.
television show, it
Yeah.
has, yes.
And I do feel like they've allowed the characters of the contestants to shine a little more, which
little bit more.
at first it didn't. Maybe that was time. But yes, we can only hope that it becomes something that's easier for the knitting community to watch than it has been. And yeah, hopefully it can be a positive thing.
I would like to see it inspire. I just currently...
It does not inspire us as
me.
makers. No,
No.
that's true.
I feel for the contestants making these things, because you can tell that they are also like, what am I being assigned this time?
Yeah.
I mean, Lydia's faces are quite hilarious.
I love that she can't hide how she feels.
I actually think I might put together a drinking game for next Sunday's episode.
Oh,
Because I think that'd be fun.
yeah.
Or like a
Okay.
bingo card.
Yeah,
Because now we're enough episodes in that there's definitely some patterns emerging.
there is. Yeah, yeah. Every time Holger maybe huffs and goes, oh,
Yes.
must
and
I?
Lydia eye rolls.
Yeah.
Or Tom makes a pun that makes a
Everybody-
contestant eye roll.
Yeah. Oh, cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Sheila says iconic.
Yes.
Watch out. Next Sunday, we're having bingo card or a drinking game. I haven't decided yet.
Okay. That sounds fun.
So yeah, those are our thoughts. We're rooting for the show still.
Yes.
Like I really am. I just am disappointed by it.
Yeah.
The production of it.
The production of it. Yeah. The
Yeah.
contestants are great.
The contestants are great.
One thing I saw that was really
Oh, yeah.
good, Sirdar are paying the contestants for the patterns that they put out last night for kits.
Are they?
They're getting money, and once the production has finished and it's finished on telly, those rights then revert back to them that they can do with what they want. So I was really pleased to see that they
I
were
have
being
not seen that.
that they were being properly credited and would receive some payment for all of that time and effort that they put into those designs. So that was really
That
great.
is incredible because that
Really
has
great.
also been my massive bugbear.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's completely true. We know that our craft, our skill, it has a monetary value to it.
It absolutely does. And
And it
too
should
often
be.
in this industry, we don't value that. And the people around us definitely don't. Like the general public, right? You know, I jokingly was like, will you make me those mittens?
Yes.
Right? But the general public would be like, oh, well, you made them. Can you just make them for me?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that'll cost you nothing in time or money.
And that you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
People will often say to me, you'll enjoy making me that jumper. And I think, no, I don't know if I will.
And I really don't know anything else where we do that. Like,
No.
if you had, I don't know, a friend who's a carpenter, would you be like, oh, could you just make me this custom bookshelf?
Yeah.
It'll be fun for you.
Yeah, you'll love it. No,
Or
we don't do
a
that.
ceramicist, or I don't know. Like, I always struggle. I always try to think of a comparison.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, where else do we see this? And I never really come up with one.
I think you're right. I can't think of one.
And we do it, you know, and designers really get the short end of the stick more often than anyone else in this industry.
Yeah.
And I was quite annoyed by that
Yeah.
on episode 1.
Yeah.
So that's very nice to see that Sirdar.
Maybe you'd heard.
Well,
How people
they're
felt.
all owned by the same company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. So the sponsors of the show are the group that own DMC, Rowan, Sirdar, King Cole. I don't actually remember who all is in the group, but
Yeah.
they are all under one
Okay.
venture capitalist
Okay.
umbrella company.
Okay. Well, at least they've heard, and
They've
hopefully
had
now,
an internal conversation of
yeah,
some sort.
which means our voices have been heard, and
Yeah.
what we say
And that's great.
is good. And
I am here for that.
Yes.
Because it is important, and I get that they as contestants will have signed a document that says, here, Channel 4, like, have the rights.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I have no idea, but I don't know that they knew that, like, somebody was going to make money off of their designs on the back end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was
agreed
agreed or because that is unusual. Like, we don't see that in Bake Off.
or sewing bee.
Or sewing bee,
No,
right?
if often they don't even really disclose the companies that whether those patterns, who they were from,
Yes.
the fabrics that they use. I think the kind of the people in the industry, us that buy that stuff will go, oh, I know where that's from. I've seen that fabric. Or
But this is much more blatantly corporate sponsored.
absolutely,
So-
definitely feels different.
Share the money
Yes,
with the people designing this stuff.
absolutely. Yeah,
So that's very exciting.
Yes.
And like, I feel like that's a massive win.
yeah,
I'm gonna go look into that.
yeah.
Okay, well, on that very happy note, we will say goodbye for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us, Helen.
Thank you for having me. It's been
Let's all give her
lovely.
a very warm welcome in the comments, and I'm sure we'll have you back Yes, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you.
Bye.